Hey, what's going on, everyone? So, Coscanino doing the live Instagram conversation with Kaffy today, and then so she's getting ready to join us. I'm excited about this. Shout out to everybody tuning in. She did great. Thank you, everybody. So yeah, in the last couple of days, I spoke to Easy. I spoke to Judith Makari. These are dancers that are based in New York. So I spoke to them, and then we're talking about entertainment. We're talking about the whole dance movement, and I said to them also. I mean, not just dancing, like I mentioned earlier. I think it'll be very tough for anybody to write a book, do a show, have any segment in entertainment, and not involve Kaffy, not just from dancing, but just the major influence she's had on the whole entertainment in the last couple of years. Is very, very important. And for me personally, anything that empowers women, I'm all for it. In fact, I feel like there's not enough movement, there's not enough lectures, there's not enough books that has been written when it comes to empowering women especially in Nigeria, Africa, all over the place, even in the United States. There's just is never enough. So we have to continue, that kind of work. We have to continue through on that process. So it's important. So as part of that, when I talk to people like Judith Makari, when I talk to people like Easy that I spoke to in the last couple of days, that is something that I feel like that they're doing also in terms of their dancing, in terms of their move. And it's just so important to continue to have those conversations, and also just how to improve the industry, how to make it better, even for them. Paying, okay, Kaffy is with us now, so I don't know why I always do that. Okay, go live. So that's what this conversation is. It's a continuation of. To have that, it's so important. Hey, what's going on, sis?
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello. I'm
Yes.
fine. How are you?
Eh,
I'm
I'm
so
good.
sorry.
I'm
As in,
good.
I've just been in and out of different live shows.
I know.
So I
I
was like,
know.
let me
Don't
quickly
worry.
get
Come
myself
on.
together. I'm so sorry.
You know how we do. What kind of stuff is
I
that?
know, no, no, I've
You
missed
know.
you and the family. How is everybody? How is
They're
everybody?
good. They're good. They're good. Thank you so much. Now, I was just telling them
No.
that, before you came on, that like I spoke to Easy last few days.
Yeah.
I spoke to Judy. These are
Yeah.
your sisters. These are people that came under
Yes.
you, and they all talked about you, obviously, and I was saying that not just talking about dancing, not just talking about this whole Afro thing that's happening now, but I'm talking about the entertainment in
Yeah.
general, right? That it'll be tough. It will be a lie for anyone
Industry.
to write a book to talk about this without involving you, right? It will be it will
Yeah.
be very, very wrong, because your contribution has been major, continue to be in everything that we do,
Thank you.
right? From the smallest event to the biggest event, from the smallest artist to the biggest artist, right? It's very important, right?
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
yes, so welcome.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Welcome. So anyway, I don't want to to
Yeah.
dive too much in terms of your whole history, all that. I
Thank you
think,
for that acknowledgement.
yeah, no, thank you. That would take so long. But at the same time, can you tell
Okay.
us a little bit in terms of you just getting into the whole, to the entertainment industry, how that started for you, and then I want us to
I'm
shift
telling
focus and
you.
talk about the business.
I'm telling
So
you.
yeah, I think my audio is delayed.
Okay.
You hear
Okay.
me? You hear me, right?
Okay. Okay. For me, how it started was when I came in, there was no structure. There wasn't even a market space for a dancer to be considered a major part of the industry. You were like what we call in a movie an extra, a waka pass. It wasn't anything that anyone considered. I think even I think even the camera lens was more important than you. Like, you're not even an entity to be considered as something important, even in the script. You were not. So for me to come into that space with my own, I have my own philosophy towards life. I have my own ethical and moral conduct with me. I have my own ability to be able to defend and articulate my craft. And those were things that shocked the practitioners. You understand? Those were things that shocked the practitioners, because they're like, we did not expect a dancer to be this knowledgeable. We didn't expect a dancer to be this expressive or inquisitive or curious, because I would ask questions. I'm not just going to stand in front of the camera just because you asked me to. I'm just going to ask, okay, what is production about? What am I supposed to be doing here? What's the vision? So they're like, what to concern you with all of those things? Be in front of camera and dance. That's what we want you to do. I'm like, no, but I need to know more than that. Like, you don't need to know more than that. We're not expecting that of you. And I think those were scenarios that started separating me from the norm. Because even just having a personal conversation with Anuzodima Okweche then that was shooting videos, DJT films, who were even learned men in the craft, they were the people that started appreciating the kind of mind I had. Even before Clarence hadn't even started shooting videos when I started shooting videos. And I met Clarence on the set. I met Clarence on the set of DJT. He was actually learning under DJT at that time. So for them, it was like, who is this girl? Why is this person too? Are you sure you are supposed to be a dancer? Some people even go like, are you sure you're the dancer or the dancer's manager? Like, so for me, I find it very slightly insulting for you to think that somebody aspiring to be a dancer, like there's a cliche of mindset that dropouts, doesn't know book, doesn't know anything. That's the general conception. So I think one of the things that actually stood me out quickly in the industry was how I conducted myself, how I articulated myself, and the readiness I had to bring value to the set, because I needed the industry to respect me for who I am. And I cannot force respect on people. People need to see the reason why they should respect you. And that came from selfless service. And there's one of these great men that say, a man who works more than he earns will earn more than he works. And those were my philosophy. Like, if I can give much more, if I can show these men I'm much, if I can do much more for that. And I think that is what happened. Even in a very male-dominated scene, it's not easy. Even to today, it's very difficult for you to find a dancer that is at the same level in terms of the same level with an artist in terms of the respect and the clout and the network and the net. It's you understand? I'm not even on TV as much as they are, but I'm giving equal respect in the industry. It came from service. And I'll say in a nutshell, that was what helped me gain that. And I think another thing was, most of my milestones were not necessarily with the artist. Like breaking the Guinness World Record, that was just me. I didn't need an artist to get that far. That's me on my own. So that got me respected. You understand? When I was traveling out of the country, no artist took me out of the country. I did my tour myself. You even helped me with one of our tours. You know how I spend my personal fund. So even before Afrobeat, Afro music, Afro dance started becoming a thing in America, I've been going to America 4, 5, 6, 7 years, way before then, on my money. So when they look at my Instagram page, they see Kaffy on tour. They don't see any promoter's name attached to it that sponsored it. It's me. So you see, all those kind of moves practically helped that. And they also found out that I was also sought after by brands the way they were sought after by brands. So most of the things that separated dancers from artists, I was crushing those boundaries. I was putting my foot in the same pot. My hands were in the same pot. And I think those are the things that gave me some kind of leveling playing ground to also express that dance can be serious, business too.
Kaffy, which one came first for you, right? Was it like in terms of the music videos? Obviously, you were doing it back then. I remember as early back, I came to one event. I think it was K Solo or Phase,
Rugged Man.
LD, Rugged Man at the show, and you were. I'm like, it was like, and it was just crazy. So the vibe, the respect was there, and you were setting boundaries from those early stages. But
Yeah,
which one was
yeah.
it that eventually you started doing more? Was it the music videos?
I think I was really rushed into a lot of responsibilities almost immediately. The first one definitely was the music video, but immediately after the music video, just a few weeks of hype and interviews, people were. I just got started getting calls. So the first major thing was a TV production, a TV show, which was
Okay.
sponsored by MTN. The MTN just got into the country, so it was
Okay.
called the MTN Yellow Show, and it had 13 international acts on board. And that was like about 5 or 6 of our Nigerian talent, and the rest were all other African top brands. And that
Okay.
was where almost immediately I was known by, the
Those
because I
brands.
was the main choreographer in front. That was the first major show that I had to hire dancers for. Even
Okay.
at that time. So that was the first time ever in the history of Nigeria
Yeah.
a dancer would earn a check above 2 million naira.
Yeah.
That was how many years ago? Like
Yeah.
2 million naira then was a lot of money. Like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
And I landed, and do you know what? I landed that gig. I didn't even have a video. I didn't even have a resume. I didn't have anything to show. Hey, Adekunle Go. AJ, I love this. No, I love you so much. How are you? So I didn't have a resume. I didn't have anything to show, but I had the vision. So when I walked into that meeting and they were
Yeah.
telling me, you come highly recommended. So what have you done? We've seen there was DV tape, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
they're
Of
like,
course.
we have the DV tape from Mask, because crews were raining. We had SOD, Mask,
Mm-hmm.
like dance crews. So like, we have a DV tape from Mask, some dancers in church. We have a DV tape from SOD. Where's your DV tape? I said, when I go to meetings, I don't see. I just use OJ. I said, when I go to meetings, I don't discuss past events. I'm
Yeah.
here for what you want me to do right now. So are you looking for somebody who's going to claim what they've done, or you're looking for somebody that's going to do what you want done?
Of
The
course.
man looked at me like this, and I said, well, okay, what's that? I said, what do you want? And when he laid it out, I told him, by tomorrow, I'm going to come and present your show to you. Let me tell you, between me and you and God, I was shaking in my pants. I was like, where am I going to? Open your mouth. Why did you say by tomorrow? Oh, Jesus. Where are you going to find? Where are you going to? Come on. Do you understand
Even
what I'm
the
saying?
gut
So
for you to be able to say that is like,
the
what's
gut,
happening? Yeah.
I'm telling you. So what I now did was that I went to a friend of mine then. His name is Sojo. Sojo makes clothes and he's a fantastic artist. I sat down with him, took the brief of the client, and I got him to make illustrations of the entire show, from the stage to the costumes of the dancers, from what they would look like. So when I was going the following day, I had like a booklet of like,
Okay.
you know what they call like a mood board, storyboard,
Yes. Yes.
almost
That
like they
align
could tell.
everything.
Yes. So I was just like showing the man. So the man was blown. Like, even production companies have not presented something like this for me. Like, who is this dancer? They even have to ask me, like, in the board meeting, if I was truly the dancer or I'm representing the dancer. I'm like, I'm the dancer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I hear.
this is what I'm about to do. And that was the first time they will honor that kind of money to anybody in that regard. Do you understand? And that was where, so it was almost immediately from the videos
To the
straight to
choreographer.
production. From production, before I knew it, I was already working on shows. I was hired by the Nigerian Basketball Federation for every basketball game that occurred federally, like nationwide. There were like 4 games every weekend. Every game, every quarter, there was a performance. You understand? So 4 performances times 4 games, that's 16 performances that you must do times 35 shows. And I had to go all over the country from one city to the other. There was no Instagram, no Facebook to show your
That's what I
talent.
was gonna ask
It
you.
was nah.
How were you like going about recruitment at that time? Because
Okay.
this is pre-social media. I don't even think Facebook
Yeah.
was there that time.
No, it's not Facebook. Hey,
Yeah.
no. Basically it was word of mouth, and one person tells one person tells one person. There's a dance group in one small area in a church somewhere. And they didn't know. I think what excited young people then was that some people were dancing, but it was just under the guise of church or ministry or whatever. Nobody was dancing, and you tell your parents you're going to earn money as a dancer. No. That didn't exist. You don't even have, you can't even dare do that. Even with those that I was hiring, it took some kids years before they could disclose to their parents that they were working as dancers. It took years, you understand? So, which is the reason why I kept pushing. So most of our recruitment was done word of mouth, text messages. So we did bulk SMS.
Okay.
Yeah, we did bulk.
Right.
Yeah, bulk SMS. Yeah. So bulk SMS. There's an audition here, and because my name was already going like wildfire. That is this person.
Yeah.
She hires and all of that. So once one text message comes on, a lot of people get that message sent to their friends. That's how we started. That's how I started recruiting. Then I wasn't recruiting out of requiring so much from you. It was more like, are you even interested at all? If you're interested, let me give you a try. Let me give you a shot. Because there are many people doing it.
Yes.
You understand? Yes.
So at a very early stage, obviously, you came into the space. There was no structure. What were some of those things that you started doing in terms of creating the structure? And start from even like your business model from the get-go. Like setting up the business. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Model. Yeah, take us from there.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take you from there. First of all, when I started, I didn't just stumble on dance and just decided to be a dancer. I actually was curious as a child, as a normal human being growing up. I've always wanted to do something that has a lot of impact on humanity or impact to life. So whatever career I was going to choose, you definitely still be interviewing me like this one day, because I wanted to do something that was going to create a mark. I was looking for that thing. And I thought aeronautics was that thing, because I felt at that time, your parents always want you to be an engineer, lawyer, doctor, or whatever. So, okay, if I'm even going to settle for engineering, what kind of engineering is lacking in Nigeria that I should take? Which one? So I was looking for something unique. And I had a lot of ups and downs that I don't want to go through right now. That the dance was more or less like an option that I found out that has such power to change mindset. And this occurred at the National Stadium. So before I even ventured into the entertainment industry, I was in the sports space a lot. We had these NBA players that were Nigerians. They brought the NBA team, some NBA team, Supersonics. They brought them to Nigeria to do like a camp. I was part of that camp. I was discovered in that camp. In fact, a lot of people thought I was going to WNBA. I was given the most promising player and most disciplined player award 2 years back to back. So I already enjoyed what it feels like to be known and famous and to be celebrated in one way. But when I transformed dance to fitness, everybody in National Stadium knew me, because I'm always called to come and warm up this team, this athletic team, come and shake them up. So I used dance to do that, and it was fun. And they wanted the players to loosen up a little bit. So it was a lot of fun. It was one of these classes, I found out that this lady, all these women that want to lose weight, she keeps coming, and she came so sad, so broken, so downtrodden. And after like 2 or 3, 4 classes, her appearance changed, her mood changed. Then she called me and told me how much I have saved her marriage. I'm like, how? I'd never even spoke. How did just coming to my class save her marriage? And she was like, when she came, she was broken, lack of self-confidence. She doesn't believe she was beautiful, and a lot of that. And I was like, this class that you've been taking did that to you? You get what I mean? And look at me, that I'm looking for impartation. I'm looking for something that can change the world, kind of thing. Course. And that's why I was like, no, I need to discover what else I can do with this dance. So when I stumbled on the entertainment industry, I was like, okay, what do they do with dancers here? So my very first experience at a music video, I was waiting for my pay, and they were giving everybody 500 naira for transport. I'm like, that's like $2. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, are you serious? For all this work, I'm going to do $2. So I wanted to see one thing about, I used to tell the young ones nowadays is that don't be in a hurry to just tell somebody this is how much I'm worth. You need to prove it. So do you know what I did? I said, I cannot collect that kind of money. The value I'm going to put into your video is much more than that. You know what? I'd rather you don't pay me. Let's take this as you owe me one. This is pro bono. This is me showing you what I'm worth. Don't pay me. Because I don't want it to be written in record that I got paid that kind of money. I said, don't pay me. But I needed to let them understand the value I will bring onto their video.
Yeah.
So I shot the video. And you know what? It got to a point whereby each of the songs that were on, my being in the video catapulted the ratings of those songs, catapulted the ratings of those videos.
So added value immediately.
It added value almost immediately.
Yeah.
Almost immediately. So there was no need to negotiate too much the next time because I sacrificed. I sacrificed doing a lot of this free stuff, and a lot of artists were owing me one. So by the time they wanted their next project or whatever, I tell them this is my price. You understand? It might not be much, but it was much better than 500. It was much better than 500. So the first time and because I have not yet gotten to that mark that I felt I should be paid, whenever I feel I'm underpaid, I'll tell them, this is a partnership. This is me helping you. This is a favor. So please, when I'm writing the invoice, I'm going to write it that heavily discounted. I'll just put something to just show that will not be the price where I suppose they collect with this. Yeah. Because I don't know why you're going to go and present that whole bill or whatever. So I must find a way to just let you know.
So for you set levels for you, and that's not where you want to put yourself.
That's not where I wanted to put myself. But I wasn't doing it without reason. I wasn't just, I'm from nowhere. I wasn't just coming to them and saying, I'm Kaffy, give me 50K. No, I had to prove the reason why my face. There are some that will even negotiate it up to, okay, don't dance too small, too much. Okay, you'll be on 2 frames. Oh yeah, how much for 2 frames? That was that it got to that point whereby okay, let's do like this. Okay, you know go dance the kind of dance where you dance for that video. You understand? Don't do like reduce it. Yeah, they'll say okay, reduce it. So because they found out that okay, if we can't get her, we need to her face has to be there. You understand? So they started negotiating based on frame. Now okay, just someone will say just sit down, just look. Just let the camera just pass by you. But it was value. It was value that got me, that got me that far. So the business part for me was that okay, now I understood the module of the industry. I could not set a price. I could not set a system around the music industry without understanding even how the videographers were paid, how the artists were paid, who were paying the artists, where were they getting their income from, who is in charge of their brand. Okay, some of them have labels, some are self-sponsored. So those are the things, those are the factors that I was looking at to create how I will negotiate or to create how I'll provide a service. So I wasn't just dancing blindly. I wanted to dance for anybody and everybody. In fact, I didn't do that. No, I didn't do that. Sometimes people think I dance for everybody. I didn't. I had selected artists, and I could do one video, and that one video was it was enough to sustain my name the whole year. One video. I could do one video, and it was enough. So from the get-go, I never wanted a crew. I felt the idea of having a crew was very myopic from my standpoint. I wanted something scalable, something I could leave as a legacy. I didn't want a crew. I feel crew is too centered around the few people that created it. I wanted a company. I want something that nobody can hold it to ransom. Money can be saved in a business, but in a crew, they want you to share the money equally. When will we get the right elements to run our art? When are we going to be able to get a studio? When every show we share the money, split it equally, everybody goes to use it to solve their problem. So the kind of mindset that was around me at that time was very hustler mindset, was very, we're making money now. Let's just get the money. Let's just get the money. I was like, no, I have a vision. Why can't we be together and create a team of people? And that's when I created DNMT that time. I came up with DNMT with Rugged Man came up with the name, but the group was a spillover from that yellow show. So I retained some 6 to 8 people. I said, okay, since I work with you guys closely, let's create a company where 6 of us can hold the industry spellbound, dishing out amazing services and training more people after us.
To do the
I
same.
see. I was looked at like one mad, stupid human being. You
But that,
understand?
that
And
model
that,
was not there that time. Yeah.
but my brother, it was there because I remember very well. The first amount I paid my assistant choreographer was 30,000 naira in an industry that was paying 500 naira. Come on, that's a huge leap.
Of course.
You understand what I'm saying? That was a huge leap. So 30,000 naira,
It's
almost
a big
19,
jump.
18,
Yeah,
19 years ago. Come on,
of
that
course.
was a lot
Yeah,
of money. That's enough
yeah,
for you to take it seriously. You
of
get what
course.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? And now I was already hitting contracts worth 2 million. The V Mobile one was about 6.7 million
Yeah.
at that time. At
That
that
time.
time,
Yeah.
I could pay the least skilled dancer 2,005 per gig, and he can do 4 to 5 gigs in one day. A performance, even I pay them per performance. I don't even pay them collectively as one day. Like, okay, if you go for this set, you get paid
Yeah.
for that set. If you go for this set, you understand? The first establishment of dance that would take dancers on a plane to work with around Nigeria was my
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I say? So I already knew how I wanted everybody to look. When we are going in the airport, I make sure everybody is in uniform. People even thought we were representing Nigeria. They thought we were like a sports squad. They've
Like the
never
Olympic
seen.
team.
Yes. So they're always asking at the airport, sorry, oh, which country now they go? When I be basketball, football, I said dance. The immigration officers were like, dance. Sorry, dance. Now you want to package like this. Even up to the bags, the traveling bags, the dancers are going to carry the same bags. That was I was playing the same shoes. So the packaging, I already had the idea for packaging, which was very important for the branding. I cannot tell my father after him disowning me that I will dine with kings and queens and I will use dance to get to levels where integrity and credibility is not going to be a problem, let alone security. I cannot do it wishy-washy and I cannot do it without some level of branding and packaging. So I already knew that's one of the reasons why I didn't want the group thing, because in a group, they will not understand why you're taking certain amounts of money and putting it to the look and feel of the team. They're not going to understand it.
Yeah, they
I
just
even
want
had
money
that.
now, money now,
They just
money
want
now.
money now. But for a company, to an extent, it's my business.
Yeah.
I can decide that 2 million naira income came from a job. I can say the company is going to spend 1.5 million to execute and pay everybody. 500K must go into savings. Something. It's my decision. Then under that 1.5 million, you have the rehearsal fees, you have the studio fees, you have the costuming, you have the makeup artist, hair, you have all of that. No dancer have ever realized that they can sit down and there'll be the hairdresser for them, there'll be a makeup artist for them. I started all of that. No, they won't even give you green rooms. What you green? Are you serious? Even now, it's because I follow my dancers to some shows where they can't mess with their green. It's part of our rider. So all those writing of rider, I also copied those ideas from artists because I knew artists did writers, they did. Do you get what I'm saying? And
Of
there's a lot
course.
of artists that I even had to inspire them to keep books and records. The first time Peter P. Square saw me with my account officer writing a business plan was the first time he was like, who is that guy? That because I go to the house a lot. So I had to meet
Yes.
my business manager, my account manager, and I had to beg, I said, please, bro, can I meet him here? And he was like, sure. So he was very shocked, seeing a lot of paperwork, and he had to come to this dining table. It's like, who is this guy? I said, this is my account. We are doing a business plan. I'm trying to open a dance school. So he's doing the registration, CAC registration. CAC is our own corporate registration agency in Nigeria.
Okay.
I was formalizing everything. And they're like, you didn't understand it, but I was like, you got P Square. How don't you understand? Like, they only have their own account manager was to come and collect money and go. Collect money and go. So some of these things that I was doing, some artists even,
They
started
were not doing it.
emulating
Yeah.
some of the, and I learned it from my dad because my dad is a businessman. So I learned, and a lot of it I had to learn myself. I had to go online and read and learn more stuff. And again, I go
Yeah.
school now, waste.
Of course. So, Kaffy,
Yeah.
let's talk about the dance school now. I feel like your school particularly, you've most likely I would say maybe even more than 70% in terms of representing like for the industry. This one need
Yeah.
video, event, and things like that, right? What is the long-term vision for that within Africa and
Okay.
outside of
Outside
Africa?
Africa.
Yes,
Okay. I think from even what you have seen with my journey, that
yes,
my journey has always to bring value to that craft called dance. And what I mean by value is that my vision is global creative, a global creative space where people can use their creativity and convert it to wealth. So for me, I wanted a scenario where globally creativity can be farmed for whatever you want to do in life. So from the focus, from the get-go, even my academy, even my business, I've always been pushing it towards global dominance, global standard. Global dominance, global standard. And that is the reason why I can take all my hard-earned money, not knowing anybody in London, in UK, and go and do a tour there. The tours don't bring me money. I spent millions to be in the UK, but it was enough to pitch a tent. And do you know what? When I got to the UK, do you know that there were dancers dancing there? There are GOP dancers, AZNA dancers, CEO dancers, and all of that. But no one even knew that they could use dance to make money in fitness. I came there with Ijoda. You understand? I wanted to even make AZNA one of my first Ijoda instructors then. And when I got back to Nigeria, she just started her own fitness class straight. You understand? And before
yeah,
you know it, everybody in London started using dance for fitness classes and all of that. Do you get what I'm saying? In America, I came to America, I did the same thing. The first year I
of
came
course.
in, I went to 5 cities. I went to Maryland, New Jersey. I was going
Yes,
around. It was even in the process of coming to the United States back to back. Nobody knew Afrobeat then. I was introducing it newly. That I met Big A that does Afrima.
yes, yes,
One of the
yes.
second year, it was like, you need to come back. You need to help. So Afrima was like the next portal that I used to start sensitizing the dancers in America and wielding them into the industry that they weren't aware of. So the American dancers were there, but a lot of them were not coming out of their homes because it wasn't different from an African home to come and dance. They weren't. Just because they were
Of course.
Oyibo kids doesn't mean that some of them, they have values that
Yeah.
held them in the house. So those things were helping. Then one Africa now came up. It was in one Africa stage I met Easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because dancers were volunteering. So I knew a lot of these young girls now that I see them on Instagram, I'm like, okay, good job. You're doing well for yourself.
Yes.
90% of the girls in the Afro dance space in America worked with me on one event, one project or the other. A lot of them asked for way out. A lot of them I had to use as my assistants. You understand? To show them, look, this is how you deal with the African entertainment space. There were a lot of issues sometimes where some artists will not pay. You understand what I mean? I'm like, oh God, how do we carry the stupidity and things that we do in Nigeria? Come and carry it over to America
For
as
the
well.
US.
You understand what I'm saying? You even found out that the other African countries, their artists even pay better than our Nigerian artists.
Nigerian artist.
You
Do
understand?
you
So
think
we
that
had
mentality will ever change with our artists in terms of?
I
feel
think
like
it will. I think it will change soon enough. Do you know why? Other aspects, other sectors of the ecosystem. You know, the artists are enjoying an ecosystem where they dominated. Everybody's bowing to them because they are the ones that are out there on your behalf. So if you're a fashion stylist like Swanky Jerry, you want a bunch to wear your clothes because him wearing your clothes automatically levels you up. As a dancer, you want to dance for Davido, you want to dance for Whiskey because what? It levels you up and all of that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they were enjoying all of that and they found out that people were sucking up to them. Dancers were betraying each other, spoiling each other's businesses just to get in the same space as these artists. Artists got wiser and you know what? They're like, they will even tell you what they need to tell you why you are better than Kaffy so that they can get you cheaper. You understand what I'm saying? All they need to do is reduce your money and add ego, rub your ego. Automatically, you feel like that. And, you know, so all of these things the artists were using. Now, look at what is going on in the industry. The DJs have stepped up their game.
Yeah.
They also have music out there. They're also making money from streams.
They're
They're
doing
also collaborating
endorsements
with
also.
artists. They're doing
Yeah.
endorsements also.
Yeah.
For dancers, I
That's
even
good.
started doing endorsement before even the DJ started getting endorsements. So I already, for as a dancer, Hennessy
Yeah.
endorsing me. They've been endorsing me since Nokia. You understand? So I stood alone in that space, even though I
Yeah.
was hoping and praying for when am I going to get another dancer that's going to take this in seriously so that they can do what I'm
Yeah.
doing. Because if you want an industry to respect you, you need multiple stars from that industry to emerge. So I can't be the
How do
only
we create
one.
another Kaffy? I mean, come on.
Exactly, exactly. Which is what. So when I met people like Easy, and she started asking me questions like, "This is what I want to do, ma'am. This is what I want to do." There was even a time in class, I think I was teaching them, and she was eating. I shouted at her. I said, "You can't do that. You cannot do that." And she was like, "I'm so sorry." I said, if you were in front of maybe the biggest dance choreographer in America, would you eat this?" Actually, she wouldn't do that. I said, it's an African space. We take advantage of our craft. We shouldn't do that. Respect is reciprocal. You understand? So immediately after we had that confrontation in my class, Izzy now started following me on the road because we had to walk to where we were going to do rehearsal. And she was like, "Ma'am, I've seen your work. I've seen what you do. Please, can you give me a pointer? This is what I'm doing." So I asked her, "What are you doing right now?" I said, I'm taking dance classes as in a gym, but I want to be more than that. I said, it's a gradual process. I remember that we had conversation. So I wasn't too surprised when she started doing okay for herself. Same thing with Sarah Chips. Sarah Chips is my baby from Nigeria. Then she traveled to America. It was just natural for me to put her under my wing. So we did Tiwa Savage tour together. We did One Africa Music Fest. And you know what? She kept that energy
I
up.
mean, you brought everybody on board.
Yes, on board. So for me, that is how I can grow another Kaffy to keep taking chances on these girls. Some might get it right, some might not. Some might take their time to get it right, but it's an attempt. And so right now, I'm happy to see Easy do some small influencer ads for some companies. I see that for Sarah. I see that for some brands. It might start out small. Now, when you look at the Afro dance space in America, one of these girls I always called, even me, I'm not in the picture. Even the American media, some of them don't even know I exist. They know Sarah exists. These are what makes me feel fulfilled that, yeah, we are getting there. At the end of the day,
Kaffy,
it will come back.
ask you
So
this.
this is that. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, right? So you know how you can go to McDonald's anywhere in the world. It's like the taste is the same. This, with Afrobeat, I feel like sometimes and it's great like what they're doing in the States, but sometimes it's like I feel like they lose that originality. You know what I'm saying? That when I come home, that I see with you, that I see with your dancers. How do we maintain that so that we don't lose it entirely as we become more global?
Okay. As we become more global. That has been my fear. The moment I found out that our music, our culture was being absorbed more internationally, everybody wanted a piece of that pie. Everybody wanted to be associated with it. So I felt, I felt the dancers practicing Afro dance in America saw an opportunity to have some kind of identity. It made them belong in a system that has looked at them as the back burner for a long time. All of a sudden, they can be that cool kid. All of a sudden, they can wear their Ankara and nobody sees them funny. Do you get what I'm saying? Nobody looks at them funny. You understand? People want to see you do that wine. That whining that you have been hiding before because you don't want to associate yourself with Africa. That you have been doing spray, 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 spray. Now, some of them are boldly using their real Nigerian accent because they know it to create attention. So because of the social acceptance of that music and dance, it has allowed dancers to neglect the importance of learning it properly. 90% of what these kids know in America, they lifted it off YouTube or off some Instagram page of Nigerian dancers or African dancers. You understand? The way an African dancer will watch an American dancer and try to learn hip hop is the same way they learned it. But you don't see a Nigerian dancer claiming the hip hop as their own. No. The African dancers are abroad hardly learn from a source and give homage to where they learned it. It was because dance trend started becoming popular that people would now say, okay, this dance was created by this person. So there's an identity attached to that dance. I have to recognize it. You understand? Then two, another problem also is a two-way problem. I'm just talking from the Americans' perspective now, the dancers there. Another problem is because everything from America looks like it's better and it's tush. Even the artists did not make things easier. An artist will abandon his dancers in Nigeria that has struggled and hustled for him for years and not carry him along a tour or show or anything, and would rather go for a fresh looking, nice skin, American speaking black dancer abroad. You understand? Automatically, you are creating an air of inferiority and superiority complex within that space for those dancers. They can't tell who are they supposed to pay homage for leveling up, who are they supposed to respect for technicalities and technique and all of that. The Nigerian dancers are too busy fighting and beefing each other, not creating platform and structure that dances can be learned properly. The American dancers are seeing, thank God, we can be black again and be proud on the street. Okay, this artist wants us. And you understand? So you are not saying when an artist goes to America to shoot, he shoots with the American black, American-based black dancers that are there now. And we can't blame them economically. It makes sense, right? Now, the ones that are dancing in Nigeria will not start immediately following those ones on Instagram and start doing mama, sir. These are the same people that learn from you. I don't even know what I'm saying. So that superiority, inferiority complex, it is kind of like, how would I put it? Confusing, because the American dancers are trying to say, oh my God, I respect you. The Nigerian dancers are trying to say, oh my God, you wait the America, let me farms you. Maybe if I be your friend, I can get a chance to come. It is a youth problem. It's not even a dance problem. So you see that problem, this is how we are going to solve it. And we leaders in the dance industry need to make that commitment. And that is why I have even re-strategized my model of operation.
Okay.
I have spent a lot of years training and connecting. This is the time now to start doing what? Refining, refurbishing, and do reorientation of mindset towards the craft. So in the past 2-3 years, I've been more onto the intellectual understanding of our craft, the business of it, the science of doing the business, with whom, how, what, when. You get the processes, because the American dancers jump processes, the Nigerian dancers are too lazy to follow up on processes. So you have two sides doing things not enough to create that system you are looking for that can be global. So I have to take that responsibility again. You said, and the responsibility is, okay, let's create a platform. That was the reason why I started this dance workshop and conference, the International Dance Workshop and Conference.
Yes.
You understand?
Absolutely.
Because I found out that even the American dancers have started learning our Afro dance, and they've started executing it better than us.
Are we going to have that? Are we going to have that in the US? Because we talked about that before, right? Are we going to have that in the US?
Yes, we are. It's such an expensive, it's such an expensive project. The first, I've been doing this since 2015, trying to bridge the gap between Nigeria and America from the dance ecosystem, not just from the African dancer or American dancer, but from the dance ecosystem. That means that as long as you're a dancer abroad, you should respect the dancers here in Nigeria. That's what I wanted.
Take them all to school.
Hey, Charlie. You understand what I'm saying? So I said, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? So I first of all needed to come back home and further push my business entity more as a brand that wants to do business. People respect me as a brand that can entertain and can take control of entertainment productions. But even some of these brands struggle with the idea of, can she be a business-minded person? Business is different from collecting jobs and doing the job. No. Business is you bringing your foot forward, and it's a good foot for them to say, we want to partner with this. So the only way I can do it is find things that I can do with them that will make them respect my space, which is why I created TDWC Africa. And I started using even the venues that the artists will use for their shows, like a hotel. So I immediately scaled the
It's
environment that
set standard
dancers.
already also.
Yes, I had
Yeah.
to. Yeah, like if you're coming to meet a dancer, come to a convention, like enter the hall,
Yeah.
and it's like even the dancers do not want to dress tacky or look stupid. They want to
Of course.
look up. And for 5 years, we've been doing that. So last year, I took it another notch. I went into one of the biggest venues we have in Lagos. That's Landmark, and I booked it for 3 days. Booking that venue for 3 days cost me about 17 million naira. Just the venue alone, not the talk of the branding, the stage, whatever. If you go to
The people
our
that flew there,
Instagram,
the
the people that
hotels.
flew there, oh my God,
Remember,
I brought in like 5 international top dancers, from So You Think I Dance to top dance, and I brought Beyonce's creative director, Mr. Frank Gatson. You understand?
Yes.
That took people, and the kind of people that now attended in Nigeria were the bank CEOs, the bank MDs, the CEOs of top legal companies, firms, top brand companies. And I also make sure that I did what they call a dance trade fair. So they understand that in this dance ecosystem, there are businesses that operate and does business with us, like the cosmetic industry, the clothing industry, the shoe industry, just like the hair industry, the makeup industry.
You're showing everything.
I'm showing everything. And outside that, I also put a platform for a conversation to be had with panels from all of these industries, sitting and listening to dancers and understanding the mind of dancers. So I remember the MD of Zenith Bank walking in, and he said, oh my God, he saw one of the billboards in the room, and he saw Kaffy Incorporated. Kaffy, that means you're ready for the stock market in a couple of years. And I'm like, that is how to give people a picture. And we did that, bro. 100 million naira of money that I did not have was spent there. What was the turnout of dancers? Very poor. This is the same people that are struggling, that people are not respecting them. Poor turnout. This year again, for my 40-20, even not for COVID-19, we're already entering the new one. I got Tony Nimelu to say, yes, I want to come. I got the owner of Interstreet to say, yes, I want to come. Do you understand? I was bringing 20 top international people, those that dance for Beyonce, they choreograph for her, different artists that come and let us all be in one space. That money is a lot of money. I could use that money for other things in my life. But I chose to invest it in children that I don't even know, I don't even see before. Because
let me ask you this.
What
are the areas and opportunities for investors in this dance space that you think that is really needed?
That is really okay. These are the areas for opportunities. Now, in the service category, we have to look at the market space that we operate in. There is always, for instance, one of the proposals I sent out was for costuming. Let's just take the costuming alone. Okay. Costuming is not just for dancers. Nigerians like party. Our weddings now have even become a bigger. Our weddings are becoming. What's the name of this thing? Broadway productions. You understand? So for an average wedding, every weekend, it's an extravaganza of look and feel.
It's a showcase.
You understand? It's a showcase. So I started making costumes. What I started, I provide, even if I'm not dancing, I am providing costuming. So the first investor I got was saying, man, I like this costume business, because you don't even need to break a sweat. You just need your factory and whatever, and people are buying. The churches ask for costumes. The schools need costumes. They always, there's a business there that is in the fashion industry.
That's then a factory making all.
I have a factory making all of that. Okay. And we also, I make clothes for the artists for performance, because I'm a performer. Sometimes their tailors don't make the right outfit for them. It can be very beautiful, but it might have restrictions that only a dancer will know how to make it fit. Yeah. So I make it. So there are some music videos that you see that the artist is my outfit, the stage production is my, so that's even just costuming alone. Now let's look at the health sector. Nobody wants to do some boring ass workout anymore. Everybody wants to have fun. In Africa, dance is part of our culture. We like it for fun. So when you develop training programs that is embedded in the African movement culture, not just the dance culture, even our movement culture, our core strengthening culture. How do you think we fight wrestling those days? How do our warriors work out? How did they react? So I started investigating some of these indigenous body
Like
strengthening things.
capoeira, all those
Yes.
things.
And I now
Yeah.
created, I say, instead of us all buying Zumba and all of that, let us have our own. That's why I created Ijoda. Ijoda is in Yoruba means where is the dance? Dance is good. Ijoda, because dance is actually good for the health. And we all know that the fitness and wellness industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Everybody wants to lose weight. Everybody wants to be in shape. You understand? The African kind of movement now is even reigning more because it's not normal. Everybody wants to do that. Even the Zumba people have started buying into some of our African movements to add to their
Of course. Yeah.
Zumba this thing. So as an investor, you can make money from the gyms. You can make money from DVD production. You can make money from even app building, creating a fitness community that is centered around African movements and lifestyle. You can do that. Those are areas for investors to key in. You understand? Then let's not even go into the entertainment industry, which we all know is one of our biggest industries worldwide, the music industry.
Of course. Yeah.
So in the under the music industry, I created multiple levels of services. You have the choreographer, you have the stage content manager, which I do for One Africa and all of that. What is the job of a stage content manager? We already know that there's what they call stage manager, right? But a stage content manager is somebody you hire to ensure that the artist you brought does something worth it for your stage as a promoter. Because some of these artists don't care. They just come on stage, jump up and down. So your stage content manager is somebody that the artist has to report to say, this is my set. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Oh, you don't have enough dancers. Let's provide dancers for this artist. Let's make this act look good. Not just for the dancer's sake, but to protect the investment of the promoter.
So they can make money from that content.
They can make money from that content because it looks good. You understand? So you have the stage content managers. You have that. You have the dance coordinators. For every time that dancers go out to work and all of that, you need somebody that is there to monitor, to help them with music, technicality, sound check, all of that. You have what they call the dance coordinators. They are there. You understand what I'm saying? Then you have the dance business managers as well. Under the dance business manager, we have what we call the artist performance management, which I created. Artist performance management is an artist just don't know what to do with his stagecraft. I come and I help them come up with the creative side of it. Sometimes arrange their music, you understand, do their video. So it comes as a package. So different artists that I've worked with have always been signed under my artist performance management deal. You get what I'm saying? And one of the biggest investments you can ever do in dance right now is invest in me as a brand. Because I remember one day when I went with all of this paperwork and all of these things, and the man I was talking to is the MD of a top electrical company in Nigeria. And it was like, I see all of this business plan, very beautiful. I believe it will do well. But I want to invest in that name, Kaffy. And as a businessman, Kaffy, that name, is the only single element brand in dance that is most known. The first thing that comes is the top of the mind product. It's a top of the mind brand. So for me, if I want to invest in Kaffy, I see Kaffy water bottle, Kaffy vitamin water. I see that's okay. How Kaffy gets her energy? Take this vitamin water. That's where Kaffy gets her energy from. Kaffy this, Kaffy that, Kaffy. Even my books. I just posted something today. I have been writing an 18 series self-help book, 18 books in one box that help dancers understand how to maneuver their entire business and the industry, from contracts, marketing, sales, proposals, writing, life, sex, relationship, all of that, do's and don'ts of the creative industry. I have the book on that. So it was like, that is why I want Kaffy, because now you're talking about publishing deals now. I'm writing my autobiography. I'm writing principles of Kaffy. That's principles that guided me in my business. So if you want to understand my business acumen, that is one. Are you understanding that? Now, Kaffy also, I work in production, in film. I work in video. I directed videos. I can direct a video. I can shoot.
So you've been on the scene for so long.
Yes, for so long. So I can do reality. I can do reality TV shows. So the scalability of my brand, Kaffy, is so wide that even for any average dancer to keep up with it, it's a lot. It's a lot of shoes to fill in. But you know what? The small shoes that I open are already doors that if anybody enters those doors properly, they should be set for life.
Yes.
They should be set for life. So it's a whole lot. Like it's a whole lot. Okay, like there's an app that I just developed. You know how Uber functions, where you can get a cab anywhere you go? I have an app like that for the creative industry. So don't tell me there's no job. Just subscribe to the app. You, Mr. Costantino, now today you say, I want a salsa dancer. Where's the nearest salsa dancer in? So yeah, you're in Long Island, right? Where's the nearest salsa dancer in Long Island? And you type salsa, and it will find you. It will locate for you the nearest teacher that does that. And if the teacher is far away, it will ask you if you want to do a live class. So you can do a class by Zoom. So do you know what that also means? That means that Chris Brown can hire a dancer in one local village in Nigeria. All he needs to do is send his track to that dancer. The dancer will film himself, get his contract done properly, send the choreography to Chris Brown's choreographer. They copy it and they are set. Is that not the global?
I mean, this has created multiple streams of income, and these are some of the
income exactly
that I see that. I feel like a lot of the dancers positioned in the US, the African dancers, is still some of those challenges that they face. I think your help is still very much needed. And I think we'll talk offline also in terms of that conference and things like that. So really positioned, I think is going to be very helpful, right? You touched on some of this already, right? I know that, in fact, when we were on tour, right? One of the things that I saw you doing, right? A lot of time before class, after I would just watch you, you would talk. You talk to the girls, like almost like their mother or their sister, about what is happening at home. What are you going through? It's almost so much more than dancing. Why is that important for you?
For me, it's so important because that's why I started this in the first place. I didn't start this business for money. I started this business because I was once one of those girls. You get what I mean? I can't begin to imagine when a young man's dream or woman's dream is ripped off of her because of where she grew up or how she grew up or whatever. Some people can be growing up in a rich home, but they are imprisoned in mind. I cannot get the best out of any dancer, any young person, if they are still holding on to something that limits their ability. You understand? One of the greatest gift of qualities of a good leader is having the ability to persuade and influence people to be better, to do great things. You understand? I cannot just come there. If I come there and I just dance with them, then I just came to show off skills so that they can. I'm there to come and rub my ego.
I remember some of the girls actually broke down and was in tears.
And were crying. They were
crying. I remember.
They were crying. Yeah. Why? Because that is my mission. That is my calling. That is why, even within my academy system, I have now created what they call Dance Boss Initiative. Getting to be a dancer, I have achieved that. People already know that dancers are valuable. How can they be bosses? Dance boss. So that's why even the book I wrote is on dance boss. How to be a dance boss, how to be a creative boss. So it is that boss element these kids don't have.
Yeah.
You cannot be a boss without understanding responsibility, without understanding the fact that you need to invest in your own self, in your own knowledge. You are too busy trying to be in competition to rub your own ego, to feed your ego, rather than be better. You are looking for somebody else to be not as good as you to prove that you are good. Like some of them, I tell them, I said, a lot of you want to be me so fast. A lot of you want to do better than Kaffy. What did she did dance, Seth? But you are missing the point. Dancers are going to be sexier than I am. Dancers are going to be more beautiful than I am. Dancers are going to twerk better. Sometimes dancers are going to dance better. Dancers are going to, do better skillfully. But if you don't understand the mind that governs Kaffy, that got her to where she is, you can never reach there. You would only be compensating yourself with whatever instant gratification you get online, or whoever it is that wants to just sleep with you or get you cheap. They'll tell you whatever you need to hear so that you can feel better than yourself. But you and I know that money that thing doesn't convert to any value.
Of course.
So let's even assume that you dance better than me. Isn't it a shame on you that you dance better than me? And with less than I can do, I got to the highest level that in the industry can, I'm not even setting my highest level of dance. I have met up with even artists in terms of networking, in terms of even value and equity. You understand what I'm saying? And equity. So like me, yeah, one of the things that the banker said at the workshop that day was that Kaffy can come to the bank and her name can get her money.
Yeah.
Kaffy's name is bankable. So how many of you in this room, your name bankable?
Can do that. Yeah.
Can do that. That is what I'm looking for, getting bosses, you know, as dancers. And that's why most of these platforms that I started creating now